I am a huge idiot, and some of you may have come to that conclusion already a long time ago. But as you can see here, I'm still holding both iPhone 14 Pro series devices. How did that happen? Well, let me tell you. This is what happened was, and that's always a great way to start any sort of story. What happened was, I originally bought the iPhone 14 Pro, and I've talked about this already. Just a quick synopsis. I've typically used the Pro, not the Pro Max. I decided I was going to get the Pro again this year, and then I changed my mind afterwards and decided I want to get the Pro Max. I've been going through a lot here lately, and I don't really talk about a lot of this on my videos. Well, I'm recording this, what's today? October the 1st. Yesterday, September 30th, was my last day of my job. So I'm doing this full time now. And I've been working out the wazoo for the last couple of weeks to try and close up cases for my legal work, do all the stuff, get it transitioned over so the other attorneys can pick up the slack from where I left off since I'm gone. That's all fine and dandy. Well, I completely lost track of time. I've been looking for the last week or so. I found an iPhone 14 Pro Max, just happened to be one left. I had one left at the Apple store. So I drove an hour across town to go to the Galleria here in Houston to pick it up, drive back home. I thought that maybe I had the Pro for maybe 8 or 9 days. The thought did not occur to me that it was day 14 yesterday, and I passed my return window. So now I have the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. There's really only three things that I can do here. One, I could take back the Pro Max, which I'm not doing. I like the Pro Max better than the Pro. I'm enjoying the larger screen real estate. I'm enjoying the extra battery. The battery is substantially better. Whole lot better. I've got another video I'm going to make about that. But yeah, I could either take back the 14 Pro Max. That's not going to happen. I could trade in my iPhone 13 Pro. I can still send that one in because Apple sent out the return box several days after my actual purchase. So I could always return that, like trade that into Apple still, get $600. So actually, I'm recording with it right now. So I could get $600 for a phone I paid $1,300 for. That's not really realistic. Option 3 is I can sell my iPhone 14 Pro, or I can sell individually the 13 Pro. One way or the other, I think I'm going to end up getting rid of the 13 Pro. Whether I sell it individually, whether I sell that online, and it's got 512 gigabytes of storage. It's a year old. I think the battery health is at 94%, 93%, which is lower than I would expect it to be. But yeah, don't let this happen to you. And I'm sure this is going to happen to a small subset of people. If it happens to anybody, I mean, hopefully you pay attention to the calendar. Again, I've been making 2 videos a day. We're talking phone launches out the wazoo, lots of stuff going on. I was just in LA like a week and a half ago, the day after I got it. I've had so much stuff going on, and then trying to wind everything up with my job. It just put me in a position to where I woke up this morning and legitimately thought I was going to the Apple store to go take this back, and turns out it's day 15 and the return period is over. So there's that. So it's kind of frustrating. It's not the worst thing in the world that can happen. The reason I'm going to keep the 14 Pro and not try and sell it, one is because I won't get what I paid for it. It's just not going to happen. If you try and sell stuff on the resale market, you never get what it is. And then, third-party fees, transaction stuff. If you sell on eBay, they take way too much money. I could sell it for $1,200. They take like $200. It's ridiculous. But also, if I keep the 14 Pro and the Pro Max, I can make content on them throughout the year. So if you've been enjoying the Apple content, this is your opportunity to sound off in the comments and be like, you know what? I like the videos you've been making on the 14 Pro. I like what you've been bringing to the table with the 14 Pro Max. I'd like to see more of that. Historically, I don't make a lot of Apple videos. It's just not my forte. It's not my most favorite thing in the world. I always carry an iPhone. I record all my videos with an iPhone because I think they're the best. I think they've got the best accessories. I got this new Shure MV88 Plus, or Pro, I think what it is. It's a really good microphone. Lightning cable. It actually works with Android too, but there's just something about the way it works with the iPhone. And then I just airdrop it over, use Final Cut Pro. It's a very seamless process for me. So I like the quality of the videos. I've got a good system going. I don't want to mess with that. So yeah, I'm going to keep the 14 Pro. Likely I will make some more videos throughout the year, but probably not a whole lot. It's just one of those things where I make a lot more stuff about Android phones, particularly the Pixel and Samsung phones. I'm really excited. I've got a video coming out later this week. It's finally my video on the Huawei Mate XS2. Really been enjoying using that. It's been an interesting piece of hardware, but yes, if you ever buy a phone and you decide you want to get another model, you've got a return period to worry about, here's my suggestion. Set a calendar reminder. Like the day you get it, go into the phone, set your calendar reminder and go, okay, bam, this is 14 days. And if you might want to trick yourself and set it on the 13th day and say this is 14 days, that way you get an extra day of buffer room. So yeah, I don't really think I'm going to trade this in for $600, my iPhone 13 Pro. I feel like it's worth more than that, especially seeing as I paid $1,300 for it. It's the 512 gigabyte of storage model. And that's something that really irks me with Apple. They take no consideration whatsoever for extra storage, which is kind of interesting because when you buy it, it is a lot of extra money. If you want the 128, it's $999. If you want the 256, it's $1099. If you want the 512, it's $1299. So I paid $1,300 plus tax for this phone. So basically about $1,400. I'm not taking a $700 loss on the phone just to trade it in for $600. So that's just me. Some people might be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I was just going to hang on to it and continue recording with it. And then I got stuck with this beautiful phone. And I love the phone. I love the purple. I love this elderberry case. And it's actually funny. I went to the Apple store and I was like, hey, can you get me one of those elderberry cases for the phone? And he brings me back this like pink looking one. And I'm like, no, bro, that's not elderberry. And I had to pull up and show him. I said, this one is elderberry. He's like, oh, okay, I guess you're right. So this is my most favorite colored iPhone case ever. This is my most favorite colored iPhone ever. I love the new deep purple combined with the elderberry case. It looks fantastic. Great phone. And even though little quirks here and there with iOS 16, which, I mean, haven't really been all that heartbreaking for me. I'm not using third-party apps really for social media, camera, like doing videos and camera stuff like that. I just don't do that. Haven't had any problems. The battery life's not been all that great. And I've talked about this before. I made a whole video about it. The the battery life on the iPhone 14 Pro, not impressive. It is significantly better on the 14 Pro Max. So out and about on LTE or 5G really, with no 5G on, auto brightness, using the 14 Pro, I was getting about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time before the phone would be dead. And I used the 14 Pro Max out today on 5G, all that jazz. I was at 48%. 4 hours of screen on time already. So I feel pretty confident I'd get about 7 out on battery, but I'm getting about probably 10 or 11 on Wi-Fi. I mean, the other day I tested it out, got to 25% battery left. I was already at like 9.5 hours of screen on time. So on Wi-Fi, good gosh, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the battery life is uncanny. Wi-Fi it's solid. Once you get out on 5G, it basically cuts it in half. And that's pretty much the best assessment I can come up with. I was getting about 7.5, maybe 8 hours screen on time with this on Wi-Fi. You go on 5G and I'm getting between 4 and 5 hours, which is not, I mean, it does not get me through the day doing what I need it to do. So that was really the biggest motivator, was the battery life for the 14 Pro Max. That was a huge motivator. Plus, I've kind of been enjoying using the larger screen. I used my Fold 4. I'm carrying right now a Fold 4 and an iPhone 14 Pro Max as my daily drivers, and it's working out pretty good. So that's all I've got. Don't be like me. Let this be a public service announcement. Don't be like me and end up with two basically of the same phone and then can't get your money back. So, and that's the thing. I buy a lot of these phones. It costs me a lot of money to maintain this channel. I have very, very few devices that are actually sent to me that I cover here on a day-to-day basis. So I buy a lot of this stuff, and that's fine and dandy. But yeah, these are expensive. The 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max, they're not cheap phones. So I was hoping to return it because I decided I wanted the Pro Max, and here I am. I'll figure it out. But whole point of this message and this video, don't be like me. Set a calendar reminder. Tell your friend. Do something. But make sure you take it back when you're supposed to. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments or ridicule, please go to the comments section. I'll get back with you. I deserve it. We'll have fun with it. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something from this, if you thought that this was helpful, then please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.